guys, and welcome back to my self-employment series. This video is all about how to set up your business. So like the first steps you need to take in order to get it set up and ready to go. Okay, so the first thing I would do is think of a business name. Now this can be quite long-winded because it's got to be right and it may take ages or it may just come to you like a flash. But I think that is the most important thing because you can't do a lot before you have the name. So think of a name. Think of what you want your business to portray, the values it holds, what it's offering, and try and think of a name that encompasses all that. I would also stay away from words that have negative connotations. So drowning pig or ugly something. Try to keep it positive because those connotations will actually affect how people perceive your business. And that's just embedded in you. It's nothing to do with you, but those words just have those connotations and it can have that kind of negative effect. So positive, something positive and something that encapsulates your business and your brand. I feel like I need to add in that there are exceptions to the negative name connotations. So it depends on who's buying your product and who it's marketed at. But in general, if you're a freelancer or if you are providing a service, I would stay away from those names. So just make your own mind up, but base it on who you're marketing it towards. For me personally, if I was providing a service or anything that wasn't alternative, underground, like a metal band, I would keep it positive. But make your own decision and you can always ask me any questions in the comments. The second thing, once you have your name, you can register your business. So I talked about this in a previous video, which I will link in the description. Just decide what you're going to register as, whether it's sole trader or a limited company or a partnership. And then once you have your name, you can register as that. You can actually trade under multiple names and it can be different from the name that you've registered, but I'm going to keep it simple for now. We might go further into that in the future. So once you have your name and you've registered your business, I would get to work on your logo and branding. Now this, if it's not your strength, then I would 100% recommend you paying someone to do it. Hello, I do that. But yeah, it's so important that it looks professional and is done well and don't screw that bit up. It may seem easy, but if you don't have an eye for visual stuff, then you need a professional to do it. It's not just a case of learning the software or the programs that you'd need to use to do it. It's about having the overall vision. The next thing you can set up is your email address. Now this you may get through your website. It depends how you're doing it. If you're launching a big or will become a big company, then get your email address within your website package. So it would be blah@yourbusinessname.com. If you're a freelancer and you just want to start small for now, then by all means just set up a Gmail account with yourbusinessname@gmail.com. I don't think there's any harm in that. Yes, it comes across more professional if you do it through your website, but it's not the end of the world. So just make that decision based on your needs. With your email address as well, you can set up any payment systems you need, so PayPal or Stripe if that's how you're going to work. I think it's always useful to have a PayPal just because it's there in case you need it and it's all set up at the beginning, so you save time later on in the process because you've done all this boring setting up stuff at the beginning. So you will also need a website. Yay, the most important thing. So yeah, if you're going to get your email address through this, then just look at the packages. So I actually use Weebly because there's a couple of reasons. One, less people use it than say Squarespace, so it just looks slightly different. I've seen a lot of Squarespace websites and I think Squarespace is the most popular, but it's slightly more expensive. And what I like with Weebly is you can see exactly where your referrals have come from. So it's not just whether it's social media or direct link, it's the actual websites. So for me, like I can see I get most of my hits from Instagram, which is really useful to me when working on my social media strategy, and that varies between my businesses, so I literally know which channels to push for which business. So that's just something I really like about Weebly, and it's also just familiar to me, like I've always used it, and I'm happy with it, so I've stuck with that. There's also Wix, so just have a look at websites where you can build a website for free and see which one works for you or will work for you. You can obviously pay someone to do a big fancy website and that will depend on your needs. Again, if you're a freelancer or you're starting small, then I would definitely go with a free website, and then I think you pay sort of around £70 a year, and in that your domain is included and the statistics and traffic and a few other little bits. So just have a look at which package is right for you and then obviously purchase related to that. But I would recommend starting small before paying someone to do a whole website for you, unless your business 100% needs that. Social media. Once you've set up your website, you can set up your social media. So you've got your name, you will have your logo, and that's all you need to get going on social media, plus email address. So think about which channels you're going to focus on. Maybe set them up on all channels just so you've got the account just in case. And then further down the line, you can obviously work out which ones you want to channel. You probably know all the social media, but I would look at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and I don't know if this counts, but Google My Business. So if you've got a physical premises, definitely do Google My Business. So also you'll need a business plan. Now I've just done a load of videos on that, so if you haven't watched them yet, then work your way through those and you should have a complete business plan by the end. If you don't, or if you're unsure of certain bits, then just leave gaps and go back when you can fill them in. But I would definitely start a business plan sort of once you've done your website, or at the beginning if you feel like it, just get one started. And then you can just add to it as you go along and as you find out more. But I would have a completed one before you throw yourself out there to the world, just so you know what direction you're going in, what your future goals are, you know who your audience is or who your market is and how to target them, and the sort of basics of a marketing strategy. I think that's really important to have that in your head before you get going. So start a business plan and then just add to it as you can, and ideally finish it before you put yourself out there to the world. So next is all the sort of slightly boring admin stuff, but I think it's useful and it's good to just know what you're doing before you get going, because otherwise you're going to be faced with things, and you will be faced with things as you go along, but this way you'll just be a little bit more prepared and you won't have to scramble around writing contracts, whatever, at the last minute. So the first one is having your income and expense templates ready to go. So I will put an example up. Really basic, just a spreadsheet, just log your income, log your expenses, keep your receipts all together, whether they're emails in a folder or whether they're physical receipts, doesn't matter, just keep all your receipts and just log every couple of days or whatever. Don't leave it till the end of the month or the end of the year when you've got all these payments, you've got to try and log them all. Just spend a couple of minutes doing it every couple of days, and it'll be so much easier when you come to do your tax return. On the financial side, if you're going to have an accountant, then look around for an accountant, ask for recommendations. That's the best thing I think you can do, is ask for recommendations from people you know who have an accountant, and set up a meeting and just go from there. Because then you won't be scrambling around when it's time to do your tax return. You just send it all to your accountant and he will sort it, if that is what you're doing. If you're going to do it yourself, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about an accountant. You'll also need to work out if you have to be VAT registered. So the rules for this are very different whether you're in what country you're in. What I would recommend is just Google whatever your discipline is and see if you have to pay VAT, because it varies from different industries, and whether you're a service or you have a product. Like, just Google it to make sure that you know what's right for you, or you can talk to an accountant or someone in the financial sector that would know and be able to help you as well. So just work out whether you need to be VAT registered or not. Contracts, my least favorite. So when you have customers or suppliers, or if you're putting on events and you're collaborating with other people, you need a contract in place to outline each person's responsibilities, any deadlines, any costs involved, any details that are imperative that all parties know and understand. So I would, if you can, just draft up some contracts. Again, you could just Google, think of the situation and your industry and your discipline and try and find an example contract, and then just adapt yours from that. Same with invoices, get an invoice template. I just create all these things myself because that's just how I've always done it. Partly to save cost, and partly because I have felt able to. So, I mean, if you've got a friend or someone you know in the legal sector, get them to read through your contract or maybe help you with it. But you are able to do it even if it's very basic. And the main things you want to outline is any cost, deadline, and each party's responsibilities, and just any other details of the transaction that is taking place. If you get all those contracts done now, then when you do have events or clients or whatever, you've just got it all there and you don't have to scramble around and put one together at the last minute. So the next thing you can get ready is marketing materials. So you've got your name, your logo, your business idea, you've got everything set. So you can either get some business cards printed or flyers or both. If you're going to do like physical marketing at all, I would definitely at the very least get business cards. So when you go to networking events or you meet someone, you can just exchange business cards. Seems old school now, but it's fun, so do it. And lastly, research all you can about your industry, about small business, marketing, promotional ideas, anything you think of, any areas where you're sort of like a bit confused or think it's your weaker area. Get podcasts, get books, read articles, just if you have any spare time and you want something sort of slightly easier to do, then just research as much as you can. But yeah, I think those are the main things I would recommend to set up before you get going. So yeah, enjoy and good luck and yay. Bye, see you next time.